When TikTok is being mentioned, I'm sure the first thing that comes to your mind is all the crazy things that happen there. In as much as you can spend hours there and achieve nothing, actually on the same platform are very important videos like the video of today. Then plenty self. So one day as I was scrolling through the videos on TikTok, I found a video on IVF. IVF means In-Vitro Fertilization. Don't mind our jargons. As you've clicked to watch this video, I'm sure you have an idea of what it means, but this idea is going to grow from little to much more by the end of this video. Yes, I'm bragging and I'm going to raise your hope because this video, I promise you, is going to deliver. So let's go. Before we dive into the video concerning the procedure, IVF procedure, I wanted to briefly talk about infertility, which will also help a lot of people. Note that I am not a gynecologist. If you want better counsel, I would advise you to go and see the gynecologist. That's the specialist that's qualified to guide you through this. But this knowledge I'm sharing will further help you so that by the time you go there, you'll be properly informed and it won't be as difficult. Please share this video with as many people that would need it. So first, let's define infertility. Infertility is the inability of a couple. A couple must be of the opposite sex, a male and a female couple, to conceive after a year of adequate sexual intercourse. And adequate sexual intercourse is first, there's no form of contraceptive being used during that entire 1 year period. And the second thing is that the couple should have sexual intercourse at least thrice every week. That means that if you've not been able to meet this criteria, you cannot say you are infertile. So if maybe the cause of the couple staying together, they've used a form of contraception or they've not had sex at least thrice weekly, then nobody's going to define you properly as infertile till that criteria has been met before other things are being checked to see what is the cause of that. And another thing briefly to also talk about is that the cause of infertility is broadly in our medical books is divided into three thoughts. This is a summary. There are more detailed explanations about that. And know that 1/3 of the cause is from the female, 1/3 of the cause is from the male, and the remaining 1/3 is unknown. That means that females are equally responsible, I'm using in quote, for infertility as much as male. In the parts of the world I come from, it's easy to say a woman is responsible for the infertility. So dear guys and also ladies, note that a man is equally responsible, quote, for infertility as much as a woman is. So that means that if you're probing, if you're infertile, it's not just the woman that should go and seek medical help. A man too should. There are tests for both males and females. That will be a discussion for another video altogether. The treatment of infertility is broadly divided into three. First is medical treatment, which drugs are being used to treat some underlying cause of the infertility. And then many times if it doesn't work, or if the medical treatment is not viable at all, depending on the cause, surgery could be done either to the male or the female to correct whatever is causing the infertility. And the third one is assisted reproduction. And that is where IVF falls in. It could be an intrauterine insemination, and the other one is the IVF, the in-vitro fertilization. The difference between the IUS, that's the intrauterine insemination, is that some sperm cells that have been selected and cleaned are being introduced into the woman's uterus to facilitate fertilization. And then for the IVF, the woman's egg, that's the ovum, is being removed outside the uterus, is being removed to a particular medium, and it's a man's sex cell, so the sperm cell, is also introduced into the medium. And this is how this video is going to guide you through that. So that means that both sex cells are being removed outside and the fertilization happens. And fertilization is just a union between the male sex cell and the female sex cell to lead to the product of conception, which eventually results to a baby being born. And this is very, very microscopic, so there's a particular camera that picks it and magnifies it, and that's why we're able to see it on the computer screen.
Sperm, they're moving under the microscope. You can see the head and the tail moving, and our embryologist right now she's selected this sperm for the ICSI, and so she struck the tail to kind of stabilize it and to break up the membrane a little bit, and you're going to watch her slowly aspirate the sperm now into the micropipette.
Okay, so first, the embryologist is the one that works on the fertilization. They extract the sperm cell and introduce it into the ovum or the female sex cell. And then the gynecologist now take over from that. So this particular one now is the work of the embryologist.
And now we're going to move with the sperm over towards the egg.
Okay, and that's the egg. This is the egg. Wow.
So here's the egg. This clear membrane around, that's the zona pellucida, or the eggshell.
Yes.
And then the oollima, that's the inner membrane of the cell, of the egg. This is a holding pipette, which will keep the egg stable as she uses the micropipette to inject into the egg. So she's going to break through the eggshell.
Okay, she's going to break through the eggshell. What happens is that there are two forms of pipettes that are being used. The first is to hold the egg cell, the female egg cell, so that it doesn't move. And the second one is the one that is containing the male sex cell, the sperm cell, and it's going to be introduced. As you can see, this is the reason why it's being called an egg. Human beings to produce egg, but it's just that it's not like the eggs of reptiles and birds. But this has shell too that has to be broken through in order for the sperm to be able to penetrate and fertilize the egg, the ovum.
And you see her right now breaking through the eggshell,
yes,
all the way into the cytoplasm of the egg. And now she's going to aspirate a little bit of the cytoplasm, therefore activating the egg.
Yes.
And then we'll inject now the sperm into the egg, and then slowly remove the micropipette. And that's ICSI, I-C-S-I. That's how we inject the sperm into the egg, intracytoplasmic sperm injection.
Yes. I just wanted to say it. ICSI, it's called the intracytoplasmic sperm injection. And the sperm is being injected into the cytoplasm of the female sex cell. That's the ovum. That's all. So that's basically it. When it's successful, the product of conception is now introduced into the uterus and is being closely monitored. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but it gives a lot of women a chance to be able to deliver their own. So we're very grateful for this kind of breakthrough. I would advise that any couple that are battling infertility should try this out. The technology is being improved and results are way better now compared to how it was earlier. So what do you think about this video? I hope you learned something from it. It's a brief thing and it should give you a chance that, especially for couples that want to conceive, want to give birth on their own, they should be able to do that. There are some cases in which couples are not able to produce the cells for fertilization. Sometimes a man might be having that challenge and a woman sometimes could be. So in those cases, there are other options too. If the wife is unable to conceive, another woman, based on agreement, will be able to donate her egg for the father or the man to fertilize the egg via IVF, and then it's being introduced to the wife. If her uterus is fine and can be able to bear the pregnancy, there's no problem. There's sometimes again that a woman's uterus might not be able to carry the pregnancy, and in such case, surrogacy happens. Surrogacy is another woman carrying the pregnancy for the other woman for whichever reason. It can be also optional. Maybe the woman does not want to carry and one does not want to be pregnant and she wants a child. There's no problem. There are surrogate mothers there. They carry the pregnancy, but the child belongs to the couple that agreed to go through the procedure. However, in some countries, it's being required that for whoever is donating the sex cell, if one of the couple that want to get pregnant are unable to, or both couple are unable to, it means that the person donating any of the sex cells will have to disclose his identity, because the child being born later has the right to know both of his parents or her parents, and as such the identity will be revealed to the child. So I hope you learned something from this. If you did, please give this a thumbs up, and you can share this with as many people as possible. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.